turn the music down. But hello everyone, welcome back to the Active Cowboy podcast. It's been 2 weeks since I have filmed. Last time I filmed was during the week of the Cowboys and Steelers game, which I was doing that with my buddy William. And so, welcome back. Sorry for the no upload, so like that. Last week, it was a bye week, and then the previous week, I went home for the weekend. And also, too, guys, school is important to me, all right? So it's very important for me to focus on school more than, this is going to be my career, but I also want to focus on school more as well. So, sorry for the delay, but for further ado, let's talk about power rankings. But also, too, we're also not going to talk about week 7, stuff like that, because that will be, whenever I talk about week 8, I will be doing that every Monday and maybe Tuesday a little bit, just to talk about the Monday Night Football games. But mainly on Mondays, because talk about the Cowboys, whoever they play on Sunday. But I'll also do it sometimes on Tuesdays, is because they'll probably play a Monday night game, which they're gonna be playing which will be like 2 weeks, 2 weeks back to back. But whenever that time comes around, I'll do that every Monday as a new series, which I'll have to come up with a new title for it, which I'll figure it out. But anyways, let's talk about power rankings. It's been a while since I've done power rankings. Well, I still do them, but I just haven't done it on the podcast really in a while. So starting off at number 10, I got the Chicago Bears at number 10. They didn't play at all last week because they were on bye, just like the Cowboys were on bye, and so I think the Bears are on track to looking like a good team so far. Caleb Williams is finally fighting his stride. They are playing the Commanders this week, which will be an interesting game. But I just think they look good right now. They look better than the Eagles. Just the talent they got and how they're finishing games. And they're not looking as fraudulent as the Eagles right now. So, and if you're wondering, and my honorable mentions, I have the Eagles and the Buccaneers at my honorable mention. Even though the Buccaneers were like at number 5 last week, for my power rankings that I didn't show, they went down like super low, like really bad, just like that. So, I got the Chicago Bears at number 10. Number 9, I got the Pittsburgh Steelers. Big win against the New York Jets. Really, looking, competent, looking like a confident team now. And, any team who beats Aaron Rodgers is going to be great in my opinion. So, Steelers look good, and Russ is back to cooking. Is he going back to his ways like he was with the Seahawks? Getting them to a Super Bowl, racking up these big wins like that. Is it going to happen? Possibly. But let's calm down the Steeler train. I know my buddy William is a big Steeler fan, but I got to give them props. They looked great this past Sunday, and they're probably going to be 6-2 probably after Monday, after possibly being the Giants. So I got the Pittsburgh Steelers at number 9 in the power rankings. Number 8, I got the Houston Texans at number 8. They went down in my power rankings too. They were at 3 last week in my power rankings, but they went down really bad after losing to the Packers. Like CJ Stroud, like what happened? And Stephon Diggs, continuously acting like a diva out there. It does not look good for the team at all. So very concerning for the Texans. I think they'll be all right. They just gotta get their crap together. They got a big matchup against the Indianapolis Colts this week, and we'll see what happens with them. Number 7, I got the Green Bay Packers. Packers got a big old win against the Texans. Last week they were like in my power rankings like number 9, I think, number 9 or 8 or number 10, I think. But they went higher this week in the power rankings. The Packers are looking like a definite Super Bowl contender. As long as everyone stays healthy, Jordan Love will look good and not throw that much turnovers, just like Brett Favre does. Then the Packers are going to be an okay team, and they're going to be just fine heading into the rest of the season. And also, too, my other buddy, David, he'll probably be happy that I put his Packers at number 7. Number 6, I got the Buffalo Bills. They beat the Titans. The Titans look horrible. They're pretty much a tanking team at this point now. And there's no hope for the Titans. But the Bills, they continue to look good. And, their new addition, Amari Cooper, they look better already with him already. And they don't have to always rely on Keon Coleman and Khalil Shahir all the time to be their top receiver. So Josh has many help now with the acquisition of Amari Cooper, and this week they have a matchup against and my computer just froze. That's awesome. They have a matchup against the Seattle Seahawks this week, which will be pretty interesting. It'll be an interesting matchup to see whoever comes out on top this week. But I got the Bills at number 6. Number 5, I got the Washington Commanders at the top 5. They have lost Jaden Daniels. He is injured, but he is a week-to-week rib injury. I'm sure he's going to be just fine. But they have Marcus Mariota. He looked good against the Panthers, but everybody beats the Panthers. The Panthers look awful, unless you're the Raiders. Looking at you. You could have done the job. It's like that. And you lost to Andy Dalton. But Commanders, they're going to be looking suspicious this week. Now that Jane Daniels is possibly going to be out this week, and them relying on Marcus Mariota, I think should be concerning a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a teeny smidge. But if you can beat the Bears, you continue to be legit this week. Number 4, I got the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens they keep getting higher and higher and higher in the power rankings. Like, they weren't even in my power rankings in week 1. And now they're just racking up win after win after that 0-2 start. They're looking back into the MVP candidates like Lamar Jackson back to being MVP. And the Ravens just looking like actual Super Bowl contenders again. So I got the Ravens at number 4. Number 3, I got the Minnesota Vikings. No longer at number 1. We have a new number 1 now. Finally, after the Vikings, the past 3 weeks, they've been number 1 in my power rankings. They're finally moving down because after they just lost to the Detroit Lions this past week. Not saying they're bad though. They're not in trouble. But I am hearing rumors that Matthew Stafford is going to be traded to the Vikings. So after one game, you're going to get rid of Sam Darnold. I don't like that. But maybe it's all farts. Maybe it doesn't mean nothing. But I do have the Vikings at number 3. They're going to be just fine. They should win against the Rams this week. They should. That's the key word. Should. But we'll see what happens. Number 2, I got the Detroit Lions. They look like the best team right now in the NFC. I've been saying it. If my Cowboys were going to be garbage this year, I'm going to pick the Lions to pick the NFC. The entire NFC this year. They just look like Super Bowl contenders. They look like they will make it to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl and finally win in Lombardi. So Dan Campbell, great coach. Jared Goff is looking great. Now Jameson Williams is going to be suspended for 2 games for the PEDs or P something that he got suspended for. And but they're gonna be just fine. They have Amon-Ra St. Brown. They have David Montgomery. They got Jahmyr Gibbs. What can stop them? So the Lions are at number 2 this week, and they're probably gonna, if the Chiefs lose this weekend, which they're probably gonna beat the Raiders. But if they lose, then the Lions are gonna be at number 1 this week in the power rankings. So the Lions are looking like a great team right now. And then number 1, I already said their name. Number 1 is the Chiefs. We have a new number 1. The Kansas City Chiefs are at number 1. What can you say? The three-peat is inevitable. The dark magic that they are casting over us is real. And I just them bringing in DeAndre Hopkins, doing all this magic stuff. I mean, for Christ's sakes, they're doing the whole like Carson Wentz. They're bringing him in for plays now. The Chiefs will do anything now. Who's stopping the Chiefs now? Just the way that they're undefeated, and unless the Raiders can do something, I highly doubt it. So, Chiefs are at number 1 in the power rankings, and we'll see if they stay in there. But we can also see if there'll be a new contender in the power rankings. So to recap, number 10 we got the Chicago Bears. Number 9 we got the Pittsburgh Steelers. Number 8 we got the Houston Texans. Number 7 is the Green Bay Packers. Number 6 is the Buffalo Bills. Number 5 is the Washington Commanders. Number 4 is the Baltimore Ravens. Number 3 is the Minnesota Vikings. Number 2 is the Detroit Lions. And then number 1 is the Kansas City Chiefs. So that's that. And then let's talk about NFL Week 8. Now, to start off, we're going to talk about Cowboys injury report and what to look out for. Micah Parsons and Deron Bland did not practice this week, both dealing with Micah's dealing with an ankle injury and Deron's still dealing with his foot injury. They should be coming back soon. I mean, Deron Bland, back in, second or third week of preseason, he said he was going to be out for, 6 to 8 weeks. He should be coming back soon, Deron Bland. I'm still surprised he's not practicing. Eric Kendricks was limited this week in practice from his shoulder injury. Maybe he could be back this week for the 49ers game this week. But we're going to have to wait and see. And Ben Aubrey didn't practice because of an NIR. I have no idea what an NIR is. But he didn't practice for this week. Marius Loftu, he was a full participant in practice this week. He's dealing with a shoulder injury. And that's pretty much about it. I mean, Ryan Florney, his ankle, he was limited. But we have enough wide receivers as it is on the Cowboys that we need, to play up to good competition, like Tolbert and Jalen Brooks and stuff like that to look good. So that's fine. And then Jordan Phillips, he's dealing with a wrist injury, but he was full in practice today. Marius Latu, I think I talked about him. He was a full go in practice today, even though he's also dealing with shoulder. So a lot of shoulder injuries, a lot of leg injuries like foot, ankle, stuff like that. So just hopefully we can stay healthy and we can look good. I'm not giving up on my Cowboys just yet. I know I've been very critical about my Cowboys, especially my reactions. I've been not very enthusiastic of how we're losing games and just barely winning by games and stuff like that. But my old friend, my Packers friend, told me I gotta stay loyal to my team and stick it in there to the end with my team. So I may have problems with them, yes, but I'm gonna be there until the end, even if they have to suck and be in the tank bowl. So, anyways, let's talk about NFL Week 8 for real this time. After talking about injury report. So first off, we got tonight's Thursday night football game: the Minnesota Vikings versus the LA Rams. Interesting matchup. The Rams did beat the Raiders, but also they are a C team still. But they are getting back Cooper Kupp this week. Still no Puka Nacua though. But I think I'm going to have to go for the Minnesota Vikings to win. I think they're just the better team right now. And they'll probably use this game as a pissed off game to say, hey, we lost to the Detroit Lions. We're going to beat down the LA Rams this week. So Minnesota gets the win this week, and they're going to be 6-1 to concede. The Rams, just pray that Puka gets back, and maybe you trade off Cooper Kupp, and maybe you go find someone in free agency before the trade deadline in November. But we'll wait and see. Next up, we got the Green Bay Packers versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. We're going to go for the Green Bay Packers on this one. The Jaguars did beat the Patriots in London, but they're the Patriots. The Patriots are a tanky team right now. And the Packers are just the better team right now, going after getting that big win in Lambeau against the Houston Texans. And it's just going to be high. It's going to be high up for Green Bay now. As much as I don't like to say it, but hey, they don't have Rodgers anymore, so that's okay by me. So I'm going to go for Green Bay on that one. Next up, we got Cardinals and Dolphins. I'm actually going to go for the Cardinals on this one. But if Tua is back, I will pick the Dolphins on this one because they can finally use Tyreek Hill, finally use Devin A-Chain, finally use Jalen Waddle. But if he's going to be not playing Tua Tagovailoa, then I'm going to have to go for the Cardinals. So it's going to be a game time decision for me on that one. So it just depends. And plus the Cardinals, I would favor the Cardinals more after beating the Chargers in a really close game. That was really boring, I'm not going to lie. But I think the Cardinals are... if I had to pick, I have to go with the Cardinals on this one. Next up, we got another potential tank toilet bowl. The Jets and Patriots. Yeah. Both teams. I mean, I think the Jets are gonna win. I mean, after their last matchup on that Thursday night football game a couple of weeks ago, I think the Jets are gonna win. But it's just gonna be just I don't like this matchup. I just think it's gonna suck. But I'm just gonna go for the Jets just because they just look better, even though they suck. Rodgers is dealing with a hamstring injury, and Devontae Adams is not looking good. But who knows? Maybe they can call up Randall Cobb. Ooh, they can call up Randall Cobb or something like that. But the Jets are gonna win. Next up, we got Ravens and Browns. Let me get this straight off real quick. Let me pause the music real quick. I know the media is saying that everyone's happy that Deshaun Watson is hurt, and talking about it earlier with my family, especially my father, talking about how that I have conflicting feelings about how I feel about Deshaun Watson. He is a bad person, but we don't know if he did these acts. All the people I've been seeing have on Twitter or YouTube, mainly YouTube, they're happy that Deshaun Watson is injured, and I just want to put out there that I don't condolence any of that. I don't want to wish bad things upon people if they've done bad things. That's not the person I want to be. So I'm gonna be the bigger person and say that get well, Deshaun Watson. The really main thing is that Jimmy Haslam is the one to blame for overpaying for Deshaun Watson. That's the one I should be, more mad about. So get well soon, Deshaun Watson, and of course his teammates are gonna, they're gonna defend him for his injury because people are happy that he's injured. People shouldn't be doing that. We need to be better as a community and in the NFL world to not prey upon people's injuries, and especially that he's got a torn Achilles and he could possibly be out. This could be career ending. So I hope he gets better, and I want to put that out there. And if I get hate, that's just my decision. That's not the right way to prey on someone's downfall like that, and pray I hope this guy dies, or I hope he gets injured. No, I don't want that. But I wanted to get serious about that, about the whole Cleveland Browns situation with Deshaun Watson, and the whole media is just talking about oh, I'm glad he's injured. I hope he doesn't return. It's like that. I just want to put that out there. All right. If I get hate for it and I get backlash for it, cool. Don't watch my podcast. That's all. If you don't want to watch my podcast and you're so sensitive about me defending the hate for Deshaun Watson, cool. Go somewhere else. Go watch someone else. But I just want to get serious about that. Anyways, back to the main topic of the discussion. Ravens and Bears is up of the docket for the next game to talk about. I think the Ravens are going to win this one. Yes, the Browns are starting Jameis Winston. I think it'll be a decent close game. For sure. But I do think the Ravens are going to win this one in Cleveland. And hopefully the Browns look at this and maybe go after another quarterback that's at least worthwhile looking at, like maybe a Ryan Tannehill or something like that. But then again, also too, you guys also have Bailey Zappi now, so maybe you guys can start Bailey Zappi. But yeah, I'm going for the Ravens. Next up, we got Eagles and Bengals. I am going to pick the Bengals to win this one. One, because NFC East rival, I want them to lose. Number two, the Eagles are still looking fraudulent. Yes, they beat the Giants. Yes, they beat the Browns. But are they? The Browns were a playoff team last year, but that was because of Joe Flacco. That's why. So Eagles their wins have not been convincing to me. They're 4-2, but they are a bad 4-2 team. They barely made by my power rankings this week, but that's because of just them winning. It's like their win. They're just finding ways to win. I still think they're fraudulent and stuff like that. So I'm gonna go for the Bengals. They need to start racking up more wins if they want to, compete with Baltimore and Pittsburgh for the AFC North title. But I'm gonna go for Cincinnati on that one. Next up, I got Colts and Texans. I am going to go for the Texans to win on this one. But it would be interesting if they put in Joe Flacco in this week. But I highly doubt it though, because they barely put him in during the Dolphins game, and maybe they'll put him in. Who knows? But I'm gonna go for the Houston Texans to have a big rebound game after the Green Bay Packers game this past week. Next, I got to talk about is the Titans Lions. Lions winning. There's no way that the Titans. Maybe they'll keep it close like they did with Buffalo, but that's Buffalo messing around and finding out and getting their crap together and finishing the job against their opponent. So I'm gonna go for the Detroit Lions to win this one. Rounding out the 12 o'clock games. Or mainly Sunday. I forgot to mention the Thursday night game was a separate thing. But rounding out the Sunday 12 o'clock slate, Falcons Buccaneers. I'm going to actually go for the Falcons on this one. The Falcons did lose to the Seahawks, yes. But the Buccaneers just lost Chris Godwin, Mike Evans for a couple of weeks. And they're dealing with an injured team right now. So it's going to be hard for Baker to find good receivers and running backs. But I just think the Falcons are going to rebound in this game. And they beat the Bucs last time in an overtime win, so I think they could possibly beat them again in overtime. It could happen again. So I'm gonna go for the Atlanta Falcons on this one. Next up, we got Saints and Chargers. This one's a weird one. I think I'm gonna go for the Chargers on this one because the Chargers they lost like in really heartbreak fashion against the Cardinals, and now you're playing the Saints. I mean, the Saints are just imploding. Like, remember when they were 2-0? They beat the Panthers and the Cowboys? I remember. But that seems so long ago, man. But I think the Chargers will win. But I think it'll be a close game, though. Like by inches, they're going to win. But we'll see. We'll see. But I forgot to mention, that was also the start of the 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock game. So next up, we got Bills and Seahawks. Should be an interesting matchup. Seahawks finally rebounded after losing to the they rebounded after beating the Atlanta Falcons this past week, and they've been on a losing streak lately. So it's good to know that they're finally realizing their mistakes and doing better as a team. So, but that doesn't defeat the point that I do think the Buffalo Bills will beat the Seahawks this time around. Bills look like a better team and they need to continue being a Super Bowl contender. So I'm going to go for the Bills on this one. Then we got what people are calling maybe the game of the week for some people, Bears and Commanders. Remember 2 years ago, this was like a tank toilet bowl a couple of years ago. Now it's like, wow, these are two legit contenders that are fighting for playoff spots nowadays. I do think the Chicago Bears win and beat the Commanders because if Mariota is starting this week, I think the Bears have a better chance of winning this week. But I think the Commanders are dealing with some injuries still in the defense, but we'll see what happens. I still do think the Bears are going to win. Next up, we got Chiefs Raiders. I think the Chiefs are going to win this one. The Raiders are literally selling off everybody nowadays, and they're just they just don't care anymore. So, why should I care anymore? So, Chiefs are going to win, and we're probably going to most likely see a DeAndre Hopkins touchdown, unfortunately. Next up, we got Panthers and Broncos. I am going for the Broncos on this one because Panthers aren't starting Andy Dalton because of a car crash, and hopefully him and his family are doing safe after that car crash. But with that being said, Bryce Young, maybe he learned some things from Andy Dalton. Maybe he's going to play better this Sunday. But I still think the Panthers are still going to lose. They're going to be on a losing streak. I think Dave Canales works better as a coordinator than an actual coach. In my opinion, I have no problems with Dave Canales at all. No problems at all. But I do think he is not fit enough for a head coaching role just yet. I still think he's better as a coordinator. Broncos, Bo Nix looks fine, I guess, with those low yardage. But he's got good receivers to throw to, so... but I think the Broncos are going to win. Next up, we got Sunday night. That was also running up the 3 o'clock late games during the day. But moving on to Sunday night football. My Dallas Cowboys versus the San Francisco 49ers. Rivalry renewed all the way back to my grandfather's generation in the 70s. to my dad's generation in the 90s to now for my generation, because my generation has to have a 90s, a 49ers rivalry. I am very conflicted on this game. We are coming back from a bye. We are hoping that our injuries don't kill us in the long run for this game. But it's going to be interesting to see how this game is going to play out. The 49ers are also injured. Jordan Mason's out. Christian McCaffrey's still out. Debo's still injured. George Kittle is a little banged up right now. They still have Kyle Juszczyk. Brock Purdy is literally playing bad without his top receivers and running backs. I just think it's going to be a close game of who is just worse. Like, who's worse and who's injured the most. But I'm going to say this one last. I'm going to say it with all my heart. I'm going for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to stop being negative. I'm going to stop being negative about my Cowboys team. I'm going to go back to being competent and confident my team is going to do better. Finally, we can raise it out of the ranks to 3-3 and be back into playoff contenders spot. So I'm going to go for my Dallas Cowboys, and I'm going to be confident we're going to finally beat the San Francisco 49ers this weekend. That's a statement. And if I'm wrong, well, I'm going to have to eat crap then. But that's okay, because I'm going to die by my team. Well, my fault too. Go UNT. Mayborn School of Journalism, baby. But back on the topic of predictions. Finally, we have Monday Night Football. We have Giants and Steelers, the Dumpster Fire Bowl. I think the Steelers are going to win, though. The Giants are just imploding. Like, whatever happened to Malik Neighbors? He got hurt, and then the Giants haven't been the same ever since. So, and their Giants are dealing with injuries, especially how Andrew Thomas got hurt. Evan Neal's not really, working well as an offensive lineman as the Giants would have wanted him to. And he just looked disappointing. But I am not to go with the Steelers on this one. Steelers are possibly going to be 6-2, which is crazy. And they're still holding on. Well, kind of. They're still trying to hold on for the AFC North title. But right now, Baltimore has it. And as long as Baltimore maybe loses a game or two, then maybe the Pittsburgh Steelers will regain their title in the AFC North. But there you have it, folks. That is... Oh, hello. But there you guys have it for episode 6 of the Active Cowboy podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm officially going to be back. I'm going to try to even film at home sometimes too. But I'll see you guys in the next one. And just to recap, I'm going for the Vikings, Packers, Cardinals, Jets, Ravens, Bengals, Texans, Lions, Falcons, Chargers, Bills, Bears, Chiefs, Broncos, Cowboys, and Steelers. But there you guys have it, folks. I hope you guys enjoy this one, and I'll see you guys Sunday for the late night Sunday night football stream for the Dallas Cowboys versus the San Francisco 49ers. And I'll maybe stream a little bit too on Saturday for the UNT game. It's homecoming. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be an early morning stream, so I'll see you guys there on that one. But anyways, folks, I'll see you guys on Saturday, maybe Saturday, but definitely Sunday, folks, for the Cowboy stream. And I thank you guys for the patience, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See you in the next one. Bye.